How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to NMSU State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about two new players that the Aggies have been looking at. One of them having a visit, from what I've heard, and one of them I think has a really high chance of coming in here because I've maybe heard some things or maybe have an idea that there's a good chance he'll be here, as well as another guy we talked about previously in one of the videos. I think there's two guys that Coach Hooten could possibly sign. We're going to get into all that today. And I know I'm wearing a different shirt today, a new one. Shout out to my roommate, Jacob. He's not here right now. He's with some family. It's Easter, so happy Easter. It's also Coach Hooten's birthday. So shout out to him. Happy birthday to him. I made a post about him on my social media accounts on Twitter. He replied to it. A lot of people wishing him a happy birthday. And, some good news for him. Early birthday gift, signing some players possibly. We'll find out more about that this week. Probably make an official video about that. But shout out to Jacob. He gave me the shirt. NMSU State Basketball 6-man club, as you see. Super awesome. They host a lot of things for the basketball team, and they even had a dinner that I went to before the season started, after their first scrimmage against Western New Mexico, before the first official game against New Mexico Highlands. I remember Peter Philippevich was there and was trying to, talk to the crowd. Wasn't great with it, but was our best player. So that was awesome. Again, not sure if he's coming back or not, but the video is not about that. It's not about Peter. A little bit about Coach Hooten and just about the players that we could possibly sign. So let's get straight into it. The first player we're going to talk about today, I kind of hope he signs here because of his last name, Amari Marshall. Marshall, his last name. I can pronounce that just fine because a lot of these guys' names can't always pronounce, but that name I can pronounce because it's my own name. So it'd be cool if he signs here. I know the guy, Western Kentucky, that guy, I can't remember his first name, his last name is Marshall. He's a really good shooter, just like this guy, Amari. Played for Albany last year, which is where Yak could have played. I believe he had an offer there, but went to go play Division II basketball at Colorado and Mesa, where he dominated, averaged like 11-6. Again, video not about Yak, but that was pretty funny. Had that kind of, correlate a little bit. It's crazy how many guys get offered by a bunch of schools. He's got a bunch of offers, Marshall, but he's also got an offer from New Mexico State. So it'd be awesome to have a guy, Marshall, on our team. Obviously, mine back there. He averaged 14 points, about 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Shot pretty well from the field. 42% from the field. 35% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. So not bad overall. And again, if we can get a guy who's shooting 80% from the free throw line, that'd be huge because the Aggies don't get a lot of players like that. The year prior to this last one, he averaged about 16 points a game, shot the ball just as efficient. And the year before that, he was at some other school. His stats weren't as great. I think he only averaged about 5 points a game. I can't remember the school he was at. I want to say it was like ULA Monroe. Can't remember exactly, which is another school that we've looked at some guys from. This isn't the player that I feel like we signed. There's definitely a chance we could pick him up for sure. But the next guy I'm talking about, and we'll bring it back to another guy we talked about previously, who I think have a really high chance of signing with the Aggies. I'm going to explain to you guys why. The next guy we're talking about is probably one of the better scorers in Division I last year. His name is Jamel Jones. If you guys don't know that name, that's okay. He played at Cal State Bakersfield last year with two former Aggies. As you guys know, Jaden Alexander and Shakiru, I'm not even trying to say his last name. I cannot say it. We just call him Shaq. Unfortunately, Shaq was one of those players that wore Hayes with that 2022-23 team. But, he ended up playing JUCO basketball after that in California and dominated. And actually got significant minutes at Cal State Bakersfield, so shout out to him. Jaden Alexander is a guy that he redshirted for us, just like Shaq did his first year prior to the hazing year. And he's actually got some big minutes at Cal State Northridge, or not Cal State Northridge, Cal State Bakersfield. Cal State Northridge is where Deontay went to. And Jamel Jones actually had 45 points against Cal State Northridge. I was going to get that later on, kind of got in my head, so I didn't say it for no reason. Jones averaged 19 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists, in just 27 minutes of action a night. And played in 33 games, started 26 of them. Shot pretty similar to Marshall from the field and from the free throw line. This guy's an all-around bucket getter. The reason I think he has a good chance of signing with us is shout out to Gabe Pickens and Jacoby Osborne. Those guys are big fans of the YouTube, or they might watch the YouTube videos, but I know they keep up with the social media accounts a lot, but they don't always like my posts. But when I posted this guy, they liked the post. I'm not saying that means anything, but knowing that he did have a visit, he obviously, I'm sure he met Gabe, Jacoby, Marvin, and since those guys all like my post, seems like they like the guy, and maybe there's a high chance he's coming here. Might not mean a thing, but I'm sure you some context clues. Like these guys don't, again, they follow my account, but they don't like a whole lot of my stuff. But they like this post in particular, which makes me think that there's a good chance we'll sign him. Again, it might not mean a thing. Let me know what you guys think. Am I, over speculating? Is that too much? Am I overhyping it? Or do you think I actually might be onto something? Because I have no clue. I'm just crazy sometimes. So just wanted to hear you guys' feedback on that. He's only played 1 year, so he's got a lot of years of eligibility, which is huge. A lot of times you only get guys for a year. So if we could get him for at least 1 year, that's better than none. And hope we make the most out of it and hope he can come back. But it's another one of those things. Maybe he plays really well, just like he did at Cal State Bakersfield and goes to some bigger school. He had a really good year for them, but now he's leaving. But he comes to New Mexico State. It's another school. I think New Mexico State is a little bit bigger than Cal State Bakersfield. Could be wrong with that, but I think we're a little bit bigger. I guess they're in the Big West. I'm not too sure. So I keep remembering I just had some ramen that my roommate Jacob gave me. He's giving me everything, the shirt, the ramen, can't complain. Julius Mims is another guy we talked about recently on the channel. head coach, assistant coach Terry Thomas actually notified me about him, saying he was going to come to school for a visit. So there's another guy that's coming on a visit, as well as Mendrick Erkins Ford. I haven't heard anything about him recently. But Mims, I'm not sure who it is that follows me. I know, I don't think he follows me in particular. I know he accepted my follow request on both my main account and my basketball account, so he at least knows about us a little bit. Someone else followed me with a different name, but the profile picks him. So I'm sure it's someone that's like a relative of him, or maybe a really close friend, someone. And when I posted today about Coach Hooten's birthday, that same person replied, they just commented saying, "Happy birthday, Coach Hooten, we love you." And then also DM'd me saying, "Happy birthday, Coach Hooten." I'm like, look, I'm not Coach Hooten. I wish I could pass the conversation on to him, but I don't have his cell or anything. But the fact that whoever that account was definitely knows Mims really well and is definitely really close with him, wishing Coach Hooten a happy birthday, I feel like they wouldn't do that if it wasn't for Mims signing here. And then Coach Hooten yesterday, late last night, maybe it was even this late this morning, I can't remember, posting about like, hey, Aggie up, showing the whole Aggie, he would do that a lot last year. He would post a hype video, whenever we signed a guy. So, and I was talking to some people on Twitter, they pretty, like 99% sure he signed someone. And everyone's saying that there's some good news. Maybe he signed multiple. And maybe he also just posted that video because it's his birthday, but I highly doubt he would go that crazy for his birthday. I talked to a lot of people who, Coach Hooten's not super old, I think he's like, mid-50s. I think a lot of people wouldn't celebrate their, want to like do all that. Like, hey, look, I'm turning 55. I had to pause this video and kind of laugh a little bit. I think I should have said that. Like, I'm not making fun of Coach Hooten for, being up there in age a little bit. He's doing a lot of great things for our programs. I just fact checked, he's turning 56. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's a little bit younger. I think when he, it's funny, when he first decided to coach here at NMSU, he was only 53. Then he turned 54 that same year, and then 55, 56. But I feel like if we can get guys like that, like I've been talking about how there's a high chance we might be able to get him. I feel like both those guys are great additions. Mims would be a great, guy to have at the forward position. And then having Jones at the guard would be awesome. Him and Gabe in the backcourt, my goodness, that'd be awesome. And if we can continue to sign guys similar to that, would be a really solid squad. I was talking to some people about it on Twitter because they're asking, how many people have we signed? Because I've been making a lot of posts about players who have heard from New Mexico State, visited or whatever. Right now, our team consists of Gabe, Jacoby, Marvin. 3 freshmen coming back for next year will be their sophomore year. Marvin will be a redshirt freshman technically because redshirt this past year. And then Gabe and Jacoby will be sophomores, true sophomores, who played a lot of minutes as true freshmen. We have the Anthony guy coming in. Again, not going to try to pronounce his last name. I remember I did it last time, but I don't want to try it again. I'll just wait until the season starts. I'll just call him Anthony from now on. You guys know he was always on the sidelines with street clothes, and now he's actually a part of the team. Probably had to sit out for the year because he came mid-season. But we had guys like Tanash Petway last year and Christopher Bike who will be able to play right away. So I'm not sure what went on there, but he'll be playing for us this season. So that's 4 guys we'll have. So that's huge. We have Omar Smith, who's really good, incoming freshman, 3-star, I believe, he's going to be super good. Hopefully he proves that to be a 3-star. We've had guys in the past, like 3 or 4 stars, who, are really good, really talented, but just haven't proven to be, that, deserving of that, rating. So hopefully these guys can. And then Augustine Ekwe. I got his name mixed up. For some reason, I thought his first name was Ekwe, but his first name's Augustine, last name's Ekwe. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, to be honest with you, but I hope I am. But that's 6 guys we have, and there's always a chance Peter could come back possibly. I believe Robert Carpenter, we need to get a waiver, because he's had some years he's been out because of the punch, and then he's had some injuries. Christian Cook, I'm pretty sure he's gone. He's done, but not gone. He's not dead. I shouldn't say that. He's done playing, basketball for us, I'm pretty sure, because he played the 3 years of D1 and then the 2 years of D1, 3 years of D2 and then the 2 years of D1. I don't think he played any JUCO years from what I know, from what I remember. I guess if he did, he might have another extra year, but I highly doubt it. If he does, it's huge. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have him back, but I don't think he will. And Jaden Harris obviously entered the portal. Zadi did. A lot of guys did. And I haven't heard of those guys that have committed to any schools. I know Carl did. I think he committed to McNeese, so shout out to him. Hopefully he gets a little bit of a chance to prove himself. I know some people are talking about how Hooten didn't give him a whole lot of minutes, but I feel like Hooten did give him his chance. He started 5 games. I feel like he had some really good games, especially in conference. I think he played really well against Liberty. He had 7 points on only 3 shots. I think he made all of them. Hit a 3. Wasn't a bad player by any means. A lot of raw talent, just, and I feel like he felt the team well, but I just thought there were so many other better options we could have gone with, and I feel like Coach Hooten did well with that. But Carl is definitely a really skilled player and could definitely start at a lot of Division I programs, so wishing him the best, and who knows, maybe there's a chance he comes back to New Mexico State one of these days. Who knows? I always think about that. I always wonder if there would be a guy who played for New Mexico State in the past that would ever come back. Obviously not from that hazing team. From the year prior, it's already been like 4 or 5 years, so would they still have eligibility? Who knows? But the new world of college sports, like we were talking about in the last video, you got guys playing for 8 years sometimes, double the time they should be. So who knows with that? I feel like, you have your 1 redshirt year, that's fine, and you have 4 years of actually playing, so 5 years is fine. If you have the COVID year, 6 years is fine. I think anything more than that shouldn't be able to play. But it is what it is, I guess. I could sit here and argue about that, kind of like we talked about last video. And maybe we'll make a video of that where I just give you guys my opinion on that and then hear you guys in the comments, because I feel like the whole transfer portal really affects mid-majors a lot. Like with Seth McGowan, our football, star from this past year, going to Kentucky now. Pretty unfortunate. I just like committed there today. And he just entered the portal like 3 or 4 days ago. So the fact that he committed that quick makes me think there might have been some tampering going on. He was offered a lot of money, I'm sure, which again, can't hate on the young man for going for the money. Just the situation in general sucks. Good thing about it though is I'm doing a reporting project on a couple of my friends who I played basketball in high school on the team, Matthew Seiss and Isaiah Rudison. Isaiah actually is a running back, and he was the only guy to score a touchdown in that spring game. And with Seth Nagano not being there and Mike Washington being gone, I'm sure we'll get some other good running backs, but we call him Biggie. With him being part of the program for, it'll be his fourth year in the program. He has another year of eligibility because he redshirted his first year. Definitely a guy who could maybe step up, get some touchdowns. I would love to see that go on. I know we already made a whole video on Mims, so I'm not going to talk about him a whole lot, but he did average about 10 points and 7 rebounds at Idaho for his 2 years there. His stats were a little bit down this past year, previous to the year prior, but there was some coaching. I don't think there was it was just different lineup changes, but he was still really efficient. He still had the same impact, still shot the ball about the same percentage. He wasn't the greatest free throw shooter from what I remember, but he could shoot inside the paint really well. But again, I feel like us Aggie fans are kind of used to guys not shooting free throws well, which is why it'd be nice to get a guy like Jones, who we might have a high chance getting, or even Marshall, that, both guys average 14 or more a game, and with Jones averaging he averages 18.9, but pretty much 19, right? And that goes to 20 points per game, like I said multiple times on the channel. If you can average 20 or more in college basketball at any level, that's insane. That's when we got Zadi. I was super hyped up that he averaged 22 a game, so maybe Jamel Jones could be a guy like Zadi, but since he has a year of averaging 19 at the Division I level in a pretty good Big West conference, I feel like he might be able to do the same here. Deontay averaged 15 points a game in the Big West, came here, didn't average as much, but his role was a little bit changed. We had a lot of offensive power, so maybe it'll be kind of like when Jones comes, if we have a lot of offensive power, maybe he won't average 19 a game, but I feel like he could still be a double-digit point per game scorer. I feel like Deontay could have as well, honestly. He had his moments, he had some really good games against UNM and stuff, or even against UTEP that first game. He had some good rival games. Just had some games he just couldn't shoot the through ball as well. But Jones and Deontay, I was watching some highlights, they kind of look like a similar player in a way. He said, I think Jones is a better shooter, and I think Deontay could definitely develop into a great shooter as well. I believe he's done playing college basketball. He's done with his 5th year. I don't think he has any more years of eligibility because he was good enough to play Division I right at the bat. But he's definitely a guy that's really good enough to play overseas without a doubt. So we'll see how it goes on with that. Probably make some future posts about him. I always love giving love to the former Aggies. I know Brandon Suggs, he's playing overseas. I'll probably make a post on him pretty soon to seeing how he's doing and all that. I know Casey's been dominating. I know Jordan's going to be coming back for another year overseas soon. And even KJ Allen, he didn't play for the Aggies, played for Portland State, one of my favorite college basketball players of all time, dominating overseas as well. So maybe these guys will try to make a leap to playing for a higher pro league, or maybe they have aspirations to try to play in the NBA, no matter how hard it is. I feel like if you work hard enough, you can definitely get it. That's going to close out for the video today. I had time. I know it's Easter. I'm trying to get this video posted tonight on Easter. I hope it gets a lot of views. Since Jacob's out with his family, thought I might as well make a video right now here in the room. Because I was going to do tomorrow, but I was like, hey, the sooner the better, right? The more you get news out quicker, the better. And I feel like, as a journalism major, it's kind of like my job, wanting to work in public relations and stuff, kind of connect with you guys. I feel like I'm doing a lot of that work right now. So hopefully it's a lot of good practice. And like I said, that one guy I was talking to on Instagram says that he thinks I'm better than the NMSU media relations. Which again, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm like, hey dude, I'm still just a student learning. Those guys working there are pros. So I'm not going to say I'm better than them because I don't think that personally. I think I still have a long ways to go, but I'm hoping I can eventually get to the level or even higher possibly. So we'll see how that all goes. Work for your goals. Well, I don't know, that came out wrong. Yeah, work for your goals, work for your dreams. And hopefully I can make a video soon making it official that, Jones and possibly Marshall and Mims officially sign here. Because I think there's a good chance at least one of those guys for sure will be with us, maybe 2, maybe even 3 if we're very lucky. But we'll see. And I'm sure we'll hear about more, I wouldn't say drama, just more, I don't want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? More news just coming out soon. New Mexico State men's basketball news, hence why we're called that. NM State basketball. Have a good day. I'm out.